Right now, in the state of Texas, more than 150,000 people are incarcerated. The ages and races vary, but most of the inmates lack any formal education and are serving time for drug-related or violent offenses. According to a study done by the Pew Research Center, nearly half of those released will return to prison within 3 years. Obviously, the system is not working. Yet, in the midst of this darkness, there is a glimmer of hope. A light of change can be seen with the recent development of faith-based dorms. These dorms provide voluntary programs designed to effect the inner transformation of inmates, and it's working. A report by Fox News explains that a faith-based dorm in Texas is reporting that only 8% of its graduates have returned to prison. With this proof that the faith-based dorm is effectively reducing recidivism, Texas is joining other states in an attempt to implement similar programs across the country's prison systems.
Faith-based dorms have been highly influenced by upper administration, including board members that oversee the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. And the reason for that is that there are monthly reports that come out of my office and go all the way to the governor. And when people see those results and the impact of faith-based dorms, it gets their attention. It has gotten their attention. So overall, the word is out that more wardens want faith-based dorms because of the impact, the positive impact that it has on their unit.
There is, however, a considerable challenge. No standardized curriculum for these dormitories exists. Prison chaplains and other ministries mix and match various resources in an attempt to provide something to the prisoners who are searching for truth. But because of the void of suitable curriculum, this desperate need is currently being met by a hodgepodge of inconsistent materials.
I believe that one who is incarcerated will profoundly listen to someone else coming in that has been imprisoned and is now out doing well, and will listen to that individual because they know that they can relate to the individual who has spent time and been through situations and circumstances incarcerated than one who has not.
In an attempt to fill this void, Hope Prison Ministries is in the process of researching and writing a curriculum for use in the faith-based dorms of prisons nationwide. As the founder of Hope Prison Ministries and primary writer of its curriculum, Chandler Fozard is an experienced speaker and a published author. He is a member of the Association of Biblical Counselors and the volunteer director of its Hope Prison Outreach. But what uniquely qualifies him as the developer of this curriculum is that Chandler himself became a Christian when he was incarcerated almost 20 years ago. Thanks to the in-depth literature provided to him and the mentoring he received from so many, by the grace of God alone, today he is a husband, a father, and a teacher of the same truths that continue to change his life.
Well, we at the Association of Biblical Counselors love what Chandler's doing through Hope Prison Ministries. And when Chandler and I sat down to talk about how we might be able to partner, I could see how the Association of Biblical Counselors could become a wonderful platform to get his message, not only here locally, get it out, but also get that message out across the country.
My initial reaction to Chandler's teaching was, it hooked me in. I mean, it was something new. We didn't hear that type of gospel. You know, it was the way he taught was totally different. You could tell that he was well practiced, that he actually studied before he came. You know, he had it put together. It was thought out. It was planned out.
I think Chandler is the man to write the curriculum for faith-based dorms in the country because of his love for God's Word, his dedication to know God's Word, his being rooted in historic Orthodox Christianity. He will teach what the church has faithfully taught throughout its history.
As only he can, Chandler draws from his own redemptive experience to speak into the hearts of prisoners.
Sinners come and trust upon the Lord. I was in prison and you are in prison. I don't want any of these things if it means that I don't know Christ. And that's why we call this Hope Prison Ministries, because we preach the hope of the gospel. But the hope of the gospel isn't like the fisherman's hope. He says, I hope I catch one today. The hope of the gospel is based on the sure and certain promises of God. The hope of the gospel is based on the sure and certain character of God. God who cannot lie. God who never changes. And what He's promised to do, He's able to do for you.
Hope Prison Ministries has already received grants from the prestigious Amon G. Carter Foundation and the Sid W. Richardson Foundation to get the project started. But additional funding is needed to finish out the curriculum's development and launch it in prisons across the nation. Regen will emphasize academic and spiritual education, mentoring, and accountability before and after an offender's release. The final curriculum will consist of 130 lessons with corresponding sessions on DVDs and a study guide. Each lesson will be designed to cover a 4-hour period consisting of reading, discussion, homework, review, and video instruction. The curriculum will also include breakout groups focused on communication, family, parenting, addiction, and money management. Please consider supporting Hope Prison Ministries as your mission agency to the prisons. You may give online or by sending your gift to the address on your screen.